The bang. The bang. Fuck no.
I'm gonna go find that clip and I'm gonna put it in my memes. Today is a special day, or this week is a happy 314 day week to our fellow St. Louisans and those of y'all that wish you I was a fellow St. Louisan. And people be like, what is the 314 day? What is the 314 day? It is a celebratory occasion to acknowledge one of the greatest cities of all time.
Yes, it's truly the greatest.
Because if you can make it in St. Louis,
You can make it anywhere. If you can make it out of St. Louis, you was Beyonce.
you can. You is. Shout out to everybody that's still in St. Louis holding down the front lines, my creators, historians, all the kind of folks. But it's
My mama, my daddy, all my siblings, all my family.
gang. Not a real gang, but like St. Louis. But it is
Say gang.
ain't been me. Baby. Ain't ever been me. But growing up in St. Louis, so we both currently reside in Dallas. I've been here 5 years. How long you been here?
Off and on for about 10 years now.
Dang.
Yeah, off and on for 10 years.
Jeez.
I left for about 4 to 5 years though.
Okay.
When I was traveling.
Yeah.
But then when I came back, this was always still like home to me.
How old were you when you left St. Louis?
I left St. Louis when I was 18. Wow. As soon as I graduated college.
Yeah.
Graduated high school. I left.
Dang.
I did. So I've been removed.
For a minute. So when you go back, what does it feel like?
You know what? I always tell people I don't feel like I got to experience St. Louis like adulthood. So I don't feel like I know like a lot about like, oh, where can I go get out to all that? I'm like,
Still don't.
The Loft, the club casino,
It's gone.
way in the back.
It's gone.
The Pink Slip, is that still open?
That is a very good question.
You know, I'm like, those are the places that I knew growing up. So, you know, it's still deep in my blood. I still rep it very hard.
Very hard.
I feel like St. Louis made me who I am.
Very much so. I feel like, so again, going to college, went away to Columbia, which is an hour and a half away, but being able to come back and experience St. Louis, not just in my creative profession, but just learning more about the city other than what the news tries to sensationalize. And you go to those parts of the cities and like, it's not even that deep.
It's not
It's
even
really
that
not that
deep.
deep.
Like,
Yeah.
for us to be ranked number 1 as the murder
It's
capital.
so dramatic. It's so dramatic. There is some accuracy to that.
A little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, you will make a nigga scared to come here.
Really. I remember, boy, when I was at WashU, and in grad school, and people from out of town would come to the school and be like, well, how close are we to Ferguson? And I'd just be like, yeah, first of all, there's more areas that are more Ferguson than Ferguson. Not to say that Ferguson don't need support, but I'm like, that's the sensationalism of what they made the city to be. It's very annoying.
That's crazy. All because of one situation.
Literally. Important though, but I'm like, MLK is right up the street.
Literally. When
Walking
people talk
distance.
about St. Louis to me, they always say, you know. I'm like, yeah, the Arch.
Head ass. Have you been in Arch?
It was my first. I went for the first time in October.
We had this conversation, and I said,
cannot believe that was my first time going. I mean, like, let's just keep it 100. Like, growing up from 0 to 18, the 18 years that I was there. I mean,
Just like, let's just go to the Arch.
Who? We were going to the Arch, to the river, to the riverfront when everybody used to park their cars there and, you know, have a time. But I don't think nobody was like, actually like, let's go ride the Arch.
It's very uncomfortable. It's a cool experience to do it once.
It's a very cool experience.
But I'm big, tall.
But I was just like, I'm so happy I got to experience it. I can't believe that it took me 30 plus years to do that.
And that's another critique I have where people are like, there's nothing to do in the city. There's nothing to do here. And I'm like,
Plenty.
There's a lot that you just not even haven't been exposed to, that you haven't opened yourself up to actually try on the outskirts of the city as well. Like St. Louis is small, but there's still a lot to do.
Yeah. And a lot of good places to eat.
A lot of good places. And our water's good. Missouri water is good.
That is the only faucet water I would drink.
Yeah.
Everybody, Texas faucet water is disgusting.
And it's very hard.
Very like
It's
liquor.
very hard.
Malt liquor.
Changes your hair. But no, I love me some St. Louis. I love getting the opportunity to come back home and connect with people that I haven't seen in a minute. Like some of my favorite St. Louis memories, like, but you know I ain't never been to Saints, but I loved like going to the Palace, even though I didn't get to stay the entire time, going to the May Day Parade.
Yes.
Going to did you ever go to the concerts at Live on the Levee for the 4th of July?
Never.
At the Riverfront? Mm-mm. It was free.
Really?
I saw Cameo for the first time live on the Levee for the 4th of July. I had me a ball. I saw Cameo. I saw Morris Day and the Sounds for free. And then it flooded.
Okay. Never heard of it.
Okay. All right.
I love St. Louis. I just love the authenticity of like when I meet a St. Louis person, I know they from St. Louis. It's just like a aura. It's just like an attitude that I don't feel like other places have. Like it's like authentic. It's like I feel like I can almost trust you in a sense. I mean, it's gonna be a side eye because some niggas from St. Louis, you got a side eye them, but it's very much like everybody I meet from St. Louis, especially that live in Texas, I end up being extremely cool with them because it's like we got this same mentality. And even when I was going to therapy and I was interviewing different therapists because I'm like, hey, I need to, interview all these therapists. And the moment the therapist called me, she said, you got a St. Louis number. And I said, you from St. Louis? She said, no, I'm not from St. Louis, but I lived there for 15 years because her fiance lived there. He ended up getting killed while he was there. There was a whole story. But I'm like, you're hired. Because I'm like, you're going to understand me. Yeah. Like, you're going to understand my trauma and everything. And I'm just like, you have to live there to understand St. Louis people because you know how people think New Yorkers are rough? I feel like people think St. Louis people are kind of rough. We get that, like, we're rough, too. So, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just from St. Louis.
I'm just a girl.
And
I think that's another common misconception about the city is that, like, we're regarded as flyover country. Like, we're often disregarded or just middle of the country energy. Like, you try to skip over us to go to the coast of, New York or California or in Atlanta, and I'm like, there's some amazing people that have come out of the city. Yes. That's not always Nelly. That's the first person that everybody likes to bring up. I'm like,
you know him? Yeah, that's my cousin.
And he might be. I don't know. I've used that line before too, but like our Josephine Bakers and our Tina Turners and our Chuck Berrys and our Lana Marie's and our Key Dodsons, you know what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on and on and on.
We got like a lot of art galleries there. Like
the art scene in St. Louis is a vibe.
It's just the most, I always say St. Louis the home of the creatives. Like the people that I know from St. Louis, just like the people I grew up around, like just so creative, so talented, just it's just the underrepresented.
Yeah. And it's frustrating that it's still underrepresented. It's always looked at as an underdog. And it's very frustrating. Yeah. Because we deserve more.
And now everybody say St. Louis sexy red. So I feel like Nelly is like, and sexy red is new. And I'm like, yeah, it's very sexy red, but it's also very not sexy red.
It's duality.
It's duality.
What I love most about the city, though, it's like if you ever watch a Celtics game, the commentator will always tell you, for Jason Tatum, will always tell you that he's from St. Louis.
Love it.
And people from St. Louis will always tell you that we from St. Louis.
We always gonna say it.
And never not, and never won't.
And we gonna always ask what high school you went to. I feel like it's almost like I'm trying to figure out, but it's kind of true, low key. Because what high school you went to? You went, okay.
I said between the wash and the dry.
Shut up. He's like, okay, I'm kind of getting the vibe of what area you grew up in, or what life was for you growing up. But we all, we ain't all make it,
but we striving. We striving, and the city deserves more. And I feel like it's us, and I'm not gonna speak for you, but probably can attest to being somebody that doesn't live there anymore. It's not necessarily an obligation, but I do want to make it a point to the things that I've learned, the things that I'm able to put my hands on, the connections that I'm able to make. I want to make sure that it's some capacity I'm always pouring back into the city or people in the city, or to do something that's like having other people's names and putting other people's names in rooms that I'm just not walking in.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like St. Louis got your heart. You know, like you said, you feel like it made you who you are. So just even thinking about making it to a different level and going back and pouring into your high school programs or, you know, I mean, my middle school and stuff shut down, but just pouring into even your neighborhoods and the place that you stay to let people know, like, hey, like, I was once here and I got up out of it, and you can too.
if you
want to.
if you want
If
to,
you want to, because some people don't want to. That's not a desire for everybody, and I had to learn that growing up. Like, everybody don't want to leave this.
no, everybody should leave. Everybody, you
Yeah.
know, the city needs important people. The city needs people to give it its love, attention, and care. But I feel like everybody just, in some capacity, to come back and support. He made me lose my train of thought. Whether you leave or whether you stay, like, there is a role for you. Now I say all the time, like, I'm a St. Louis ass nigga. I don't have a desire to move back home. I don't have it because I feel like moving away, wherever you're from, I feel like everybody should move outside of their hometown at least once, or live outside of their hometown at least once, even if they have to move back home.
Yeah.
Just to be able to exercise what your city has taught you in another space and place.
Yeah.
And to see how you're able to live that out, and even if you got to come back home. Now, if circumstances arise and I have to move back home, then I just got to move back home. Home is home.
Home is home.
But I do feel like everybody should move out of town at least once.
I've thought about moving back a lot. And I love Texas. Like, I love Dallas. It gives you something St. Louis can't give you. It's like it's more going on. It's more thriving. It's a bigger city. It is just what it is. But the family aspect.
Yeah.
You know, my entire family is there.
Back home.
Yeah, and I have kids. I grew up with my cousins. Like,
That's real.
my daughter would absolutely love to grow up with her cousins. You know what I'm saying? So it's that part of it. But would I ever do it? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because my husband from Memphis, he probably be like, why we can't go back to Memphis then? You know?
That part, yeah.
I'm just not going to go back and forth on that. But to have that village would be
amazing.
And then it's still, even when I go there, I'm like, I haven't lived here for a very long time, but it's always and forever going to be home.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit White Castle as soon as I get there.
And I'm going to get my Chinese food.
And I'm going to order me some emos.
Every time. It's better than China. It's better than China.
It really is.
So if I were to give a message to St. Louis, first and foremost, I would just say, like, just thank you for the lessons learned, for its endurance. Like, St. Louis has gone through a lot. St. Louis is talked about a lot and is often misunderstood, but it stands the test of time. I feel like it is an anchor point for the rest of the country. Like, it being in the middle of the map is not lost on me.
Yeah.
I love the people. Not all the people, because some of y'all crazy too, but that's in every city. But just the grit, the endurance, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, and being able to
show you 7, I show you 8.
Being able to carry that into a Dallas or, you know, wherever, if we have another stop after this, that's forever embedded in me. And for that, I am super grateful.
Period. I would just tell St. Louis, thank you, of course, allowing, like, I feel like everybody there is just proud of who they are and just molding me into being an authentic person and being comfortable with being myself, with talking funny and being ghetto. You know, oh, y'all so ghetto. Like, yeah, like, we are, like, I accept that. I just, everything about it, just the creativity. I feel like I am a creative person. St. Louis, like, made me that way. Just even when you drive around on the streets to the west side of the old loop that was over there, just all the art on the wall, just everything. I just love the beauty of the city. I love the people of the city. Not all y'all, especially not the YNs that be walking downtown with the guns, because I am just trying to go to Rosalita. Okay, I am not trying to be up here with y'all with the guns, but I just love everything about my city, but mostly the people, my family, of course, and just that I'm gonna always be a nigga from St. Louis.
My life is like a whirlwind. And I'm just I watch the world spin.
What was Pretty Willie song?
Which one?
Yeah, no, that was Pretty Wiki.
You was really finna go into it though. You was really about to give
what
it to
was
him.
the Pretty
Four
Willie
walls,
song?
lay your body down.
No, lay your body down and let me touch your body. That was my shit.
9 years old.
Really?
Went to Vintage Vinyl to get my CD. Or I used to listen to it on Big Sexy Cool DJ Chaos on Lover's Lane.
Yes. I'm cracking up. I forgot all about that.
If these fours could conversate. The real word is converse, but it's okay.
They got me hooked on you.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard that. I'm a soprano.
I'm an alletone. Those were the times.
We love you, St. Louis, and we appreciate you.
Bow, bow. Big boy.
Did it cut off on us? Oh.
A big boy.